Hello. Today I'd like to talk about medical experiences, for example hospitals, GP's office. My aim in talking today is just to make sure you understand how deaf people feel and understand their views. Make sure you know what's going on with them so you can understand and interpret properly. I've heard of so many bad things that have happened, and it's all to do with medical. For example, if people are ill, or if they've given birth, or if they have an operation anywhere on the body, if they've got hearing children and they have to take them to the doctor's office, how can they explain what conditions they've got? How can interpreters explain properly the symptoms that deaf people have? They need to explain about the pain they have. The best way is to look at non-manual features, really. Look at their face and match it to that emotion. If they're just, if it's just a simple facial expression, ow, then it might not be so bad as if they go, oh, this is really hurting. That's what that means. Have to make it clear as to how much pain the patient is in. The facial expression will do that every time. Make sure you ask the deaf person how much pain they're in, because sometimes even facial expressions might not, do the pain justice. So you can look at the hands, look at the body, the face. Are they hot? If the doctor touches them, does it hurt? Wherever. So everything is linked, and you have to take all that in and then explain that to the doctor. So you will have to have a knowledge of, a basic knowledge of the body anatomy, but make sure you are clear with what the doctor is telling you before you interpret to the client. Get an in-depth description so it's clear and you can make sure that the deaf person knows. And then you can be as visual as you can be so that the deaf person has got a picture in their mind of what's wrong with them. I mean, if you think that they're not getting it, then you can ask the doctor to get a poster out, any images on the internet, and then you can show them to the deaf person. You could, for example, say, oh, is this where it hurts, is this where it hurts, and then they'll understand. It's really important to do that. Also, tablets are an issue. If they're having an operation or they go to the GP and they give them tablets, make sure you know how often the tablets needed to be taken, which days, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening. If the doctor tells you, for example, that the patient needs to take 4 tablets a day, you need to ask when in the day. You need to clarify specific times and then interpret accordingly, step by step. Tell the client that this is for a morning tablet, this is for lunchtime, and this is for evening. If there's a tablet that you need to take after or before lunch, then you need to specify that as well. If it's a tablet you shouldn't take with food, then this is important information that the deaf person needs to know. You have to make sure they know if you take the tablet before the food or you take the tablet after food. Also, equally important is whether or not the patient is able to drive having taken these tablets. If they can't drive, they need to know, and they need to get a family member or a friend. These are small, minor details, but in the grand scheme of things, they could affect somebody's life. Also, how long do they take the tablets? Do they just take a couple of tablets, or do they finish the course of the tablets? If they're taking other tablets at the same time, do you ask the doctor? Do I need to tell them that they can take the tablets at the same time as the other? They will say, I'm already on medication. The doctor will look it up and he'll say, no, don't take this medication with that, or yes, it's fine to carry on.
You're hearing this? On the 18th of December, and she has got oh, really?
There might be a history of illness in family, and that they will tell the doctor, and you need to relay all this. I understand it's difficult at the dentist because you can't do any lip speaking. You're sat in a chair, you're backwards, almost horizontal. There's a huge light in your face. You can't see anything to sign. And you can't see the sign language interpreter either. So you have to make sure that before you ask the dentist, can you tell me the procedure, explain to me so that I can translate it to my client. Just explain the fact that the dentist, dental nurse will have a mask on their face, they've got glasses on, because when you're sat there, you can't do anything, you can't say anything. So once you've explained, then the person will be fine. And if there's a problem, I mean, how are you going to say? You're just going to have to put your hand up and wave. If you can arrange these details beforehand so that the dentist knows when to stop, then that's great, because if the patient's in pain, then the dentist needs to know. Another point is MRI scans. It's quite difficult in this situation because you're horizontal going through a tunnel and you're all by yourself. You can't hear anything, you can't hear any music. If there's a TV on, you can't hear that. It's very isolated. And it's very nerve-wracking. I've been myself, so I've got experience with this.
Do you know what happened? They had some challenges in it.
So you're ready to go in, and I was lying there and I was thinking, oh gosh, this is really nervous. And the interpreter with the doctor or the nurse asked the doctor how long would it take, what happens if I panic, can I wave, can I scream? But you know, with the MRI scan, you must stay absolutely still. You can't move a muscle. So for me, lying down, when you've got these big heavy weights on your chest and on your stomach, and your arms are flat by your side, it means that deaf people just can't communicate. I mean, how do they do that? They're going to have to scream. They can't use their hands. So an interpreter needs to make sure that they know all these details so they can pass the message on in case anything happens. No, if the person next, the assistant is just sitting there and being lazy, not doing anything, not paying attention, they won't know whether the patient is claustrophobic or not. Or if you have a phobia of the darkness and you're in this really enclosed tunnel, you can try and scream to get you out, and possibly they could give you tablets to make you drowsy. There's a number of things that you can do, but you need to make sure that you do the research just to see, so that they know you've got background information, really. This is really important in medical areas. Thank you for watching.